Every year, millions of people around the globe choose to mark their skin forever with ink. Whether it's a small heart on a wrist or a full-body masterpiece, we all call it by the same name, a tattoo. But have you ever stopped to wonder why? Why isn't it called skin painting, permanent sketching, or dermal inking? Why this specific, rhythmic word? Today, we are going on a journey, not just across the world, but through 5,000 years of human history. We're going to discover how a simple tapping sound in the South Pacific Islands became a global phenomenon. We'll meet frozen mummies, rebellious sailors, and even a famous inventor who accidentally changed the world of art forever. This is the deep, dark, and fascinating history of the tattoo. To understand where it all began, we have to travel thousands of miles to the beautiful islands of Polynesia, specifically places like Tahiti and Samoa. Long before there were electric machines or modern needles, there was a word, Tatau. Now, listen to that word very closely. Tatat. It is what we call an onomatopoeia word that sounds exactly like the action it describes. In ancient Polynesian culture, getting a tattoo was a sacred, intense, and very loud process. The artist would take a tool made of bone or wood, dipped in soot and water, and place it against the skin. Then, they would use a second wooden stick to strike the tool. Tap, tap, tap. This rhythmic striking drove the ink deep into the dermis. This sound, the tat-tat, is where the word tatau comes from, meaning to strike or to mark. It wasn't just art. It was a rhythmic ceremony of pain and prestige. But how did this island word reach the ears of the rest of the world? For that, we have to look to the year 1769 and a man named Captain James Cook. While exploring the South Pacific, Cook and his crew encountered the people of Tahiti. They were stunned to see men and women covered from head to toe in intricate, dark patterns. Cook was so fascinated that he wrote about it in his journal, but he struggled with the spelling. He wrote it down as Tatau. When Cook's ship, the HMS Endeavour, finally returned to Europe, his sailors didn't just bring back stories of exotic lands, they brought back the ink on their own skin. The word Tatau spread through London like wildfire. Suddenly, everyone wanted to know about this Pacific mark. Over time, the spelling evolved into the tattoo we use today. Now, if you think tattoos are just a modern fashion trend for Gen Z or rock stars, think again. History proves that humans have been obsessed with ink for millennia. In 1991, high up in the freezing Alps between Austria and Italy, hikers found a body frozen in the ice. This was Ötzi the Iceman, a man who lived over 5,300 years ago. When scientists examined his perfectly preserved skin, they were shocked. Ötzi had 61 tattoos all over his body. But here is the twist. These weren't decorative lions or anchors. They were mostly lines and crosses located on his joints and lower back. After exoring his body, doctors realized Ötzi suffered from arthritis in those exact spots. This means the world's oldest tattoos weren't for fashion, they were medicinal. A form of ancient acupuncture meant to heal pain. From the frozen Alps to the deserts of ancient Egypt, tattoos were everywhere. In Egypt, archaeologists found tattoos on female mummies, which were believed to be amulets of protection to help women through the dangers of pregnancy and childbirth. For thousands of years, a tattoo wasn't just a choice, it was a shield, a prayer, and a map of a person's life. However, as the centuries passed, the reputation of the tattoo took a dark turn. In Europe, during the Middle Ages, tattoos were often banned by religious leaders and associated with criminals or uncivilized people. For a long time, the art form went underground. But it was the sailors, the rebels of the sea, who kept the ink flowing. For a sailor in the 18th and 19th centuries, a tattoo was much more than a decoration. It was his resume. Since most sailors couldn't read or write, they recorded their life stories on their skin. An anchor meant you had successfully crossed the Atlantic Ocean. A swallow meant you had traveled 5,000 nautical miles. A dragon meant you had served in the China Station. These men were the ones who carried tattooing from port to port. ensuring the tradition never died out, even when society looked down on it. The biggest turning point in history came in 1891, and it came from a very unexpected source. You've probably heard of Thomas Edison, the man who gave us the light bulb. Well, Edison also invented something called the electric pen to help office workers copy documents. It didn't work very well for paperwork, but a tattoo artist named Samuel O'Reilly saw it and had a light bulb moment of his own. O'Reilly modified Edison's design, added a tube for ink, and created the first ever electric tattoo machine. Before this, tattoos were slow, painful, and done by hand. With O'Reilly's machine, the process became faster, more precise, and suddenly more accessible to the general public. This was the birth of the modern tattoo industry. Today, we are living in a golden age of ink. Tattoos have moved from the docks of sailors to the galleries of fine art. We now have 3D tattoos that look like they are popping off the skin, biomechanical tattoos that make people look like cyborgs, and even smart tattoos being developed in labs that can change color to tell you if your blood sugar is low or if you've had too much sun. From the rhythmic tat-tat-tat of a bone tool in the Pacific to the high-tech needles of today, the tattoo has survived for over 50 centuries. It has been a medicine, a religious symbol, a badge of a sailor's bravery, and a mark of rebellion. So, the next time you see someone with a tattoo, or if you're thinking about getting one yourself, remember that you aren't just looking at ink. You are looking at a 5,000-year-old human tradition, a permanent echo of our history that says, "I was here, I survived, and this is my story." What does your skin say about you? If you enjoyed this deep dive into history, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more stories that get under your skin. Until next time.